Hi, my name is Joseph Garrity, and today I would like to talk about the delusion of duality. I want to examine some of the basic aspects of the mind, which if understood could really lead us to a far more peaceful life than we may be enjoying at the moment. So if life is very confusing for you, if life is in turmoil, if you're not happy with your image, this is usually an indication we're living from a false sense of identity. I actually believe that we do have an ultimate identity, which is free of the ego. But I'll come more to that in a moment. For now, what I'd like to do is just to explain some of the basic aspects of the mind which would allow us to begin our journey of discovery, self-discovery, and begin the search for the ultimate identity that will absolutely set us free. And that is, in fact, total freedom. So, first of all, perhaps it's useful to consider how we got here in the first place. Well, I'm sure, like me, you've heard the expression, I won't believe it until I see it. And my middle name is Thomas, and for sure I've been a doubting Thomas many times in my life. I wanted to see it before I believed it. Well, it turns out that many times what we've seen was in fact totally wrong. We can look at some of the famous paradigm shifts where we thought one thing, saw one thing, but it wasn't the truth. We actually did believe that the world was flat. That's what we saw, but it clearly didn't stand up to scrutiny. Science clearly demonstrated, once we had the power of telescopes, demonstrated that the world wasn't flat. It was in fact round. The second major shift was Copernicus, who told us that the Earth was not the center of the universe, that we're in fact whizzing around the sun. And that paradigm shift took a long time to get hold for some institutions who denied that it was the truth. And I think history might have even suggested they threatened him with in prison if he didn't change his mind. That might have been Galileo, but you get the idea. No one believes that the Earth is the center of the universe. We realize that we're a substantial planet, but living in a vast universe. So we constantly are evolving from what we thought we saw with our body's eyes, a little bit more knowledge, a bit more evidence, and we realize it's not true. We also had, of course, the Darwinian model, which clearly demonstrated that we are evolving human beings, and thank goodness we are, otherwise we'd still be believing that the world was flat and we'd still be stuck with a beautiful mind which we're totally misusing. So you get the general idea. What we see is sometimes not the complete picture. Many times I'll have clients, I ask them, do you get mad at traffic? And they say, yeah, of course I get mad at traffic. Well, you think that what you see is causing you problems, but it's nothing to do with the traffic. It's our interpretation of it. And so it's our interpretation of what we think is reality which causes us most pain and most distress. Somebody else can't cause us pain and suffering. Of course, someone can attack us physically. I'm talking about mental pain now. And so we might think that Mrs. Jones is a so-and-so, or Mr. Smith is a so-and-so, or the many different ways that we can be afflicted, and for sure. So we're trained in duality. We're trained to think that there is something out there and something in here. The truth is there's only something in here. We are the master of our destiny, the captain of our fate. So perhaps if we look at the three aspects of mind, it might give us a basic understanding, at least, of where this is coming from. We have mind itself, which is universal. You can't find a beginning or an end to it. And it's clearly infinite. If we just take the number of thoughts that you have, you can't count them. Whether you've been on the planet 20 years, 40 years, 60 years, or many more years like myself, The number of thoughts that you can have is infinite. Second aspect is consciousness. This is crucial because this is the part that allows us to evaluate, to look at what we're seeing. And very often what we're seeing as causing us pain isn't true. So we come to thoughts themselves. Back to my traffic jam. The traffic jam will show you that it's the traffic jam that's causing you thought. Not true. Not true at all. It's your interpretation that there shouldn't be another car in front of you. And so thoughts then really are the creation of the mind. They're the creative aspects. And thoughts create experiences. And those experiences will determine what we believe. There's a philosophical story of a man that was frightened because he thought he saw a snake curled up in the base of the shower. And he scooted out of there real fast. But when he turned the light on, it wasn't a snake at all. It was a rope. But in his mind, it was very real. Clearly, this isn't the case. So what I'd like to suggest, if you'd like to know the nature of your own mind, we'll introduce you to it, and it won't cost you a cent. We run an introduction to the nature of mindfulness. You can call us on 091 871 904. You can find us on Facebook, School of Mastery, and Solutions for Life. And we'd be happy to hear from you. So give us a call. We'll set up a quick meeting where you can have a free chat with me. My name is Joseph Garrity, and if you have been listening, have a great day.